I want to thank Queen of WTF for summarizing that hour-long plus live stream of absolute crap that Chantel did last night while I was, detained with other things. Because I can't keep up with her bullshit. She's always complaining that we live online, but she seems to be the only person who actually lives online. So anyway, let's go over some of the shit she talks about. This has been sped up, so I might actually slow it down a little bit. Let's see if I can figure that out. Hold up. It's morning for me, so I'm still kind of waking up and stuff. Playback speed. Let's just slow it down just a little bit. Okay. And I'll even, since she always whines about this, I'll even put myself on the screen. There you go, Chantal. So you can see me. Oi. Alright, I'll subscribe. And I'll like.
Hey! It is almost 8 a.m. here. There. Is that better? This whole jilbab was like $25. I'll give you 15 for it right now. Well, are you Muslim? Do you want one? Go buy one. They're not that expensive. So,
she half-heartedly knows that the people in her audience troll her. But kind of doesn't as well, which is why she ends up with situations like Dee Dee and Kybella, right?
It was brought to my attention that people are lying on me and finding entertainment in lying on my religion and making a mockery of my religion. So
I believe that a lot of people were debating whether or not she was actually facing Mecca while she was praying. And if there's been some solid evidence provided that shows that she was actually facing south, which would be facing like United Arab Emirates and some of the countries going that direction, when in fact she should have been facing southwest, which would be facing Mecca. I'm not a Muslim, so it's not like I go through this and try and figure this out. If she's not doing it right, not my problem. That's a problem for Salah and for her religious leaders, who, by the way, Chantel has not mentioned any guidance that she's received from religious leaders. She hasn't mentioned going to any mosques or having any counselors that, like, joining, like, you know how, like, Catholics and Christians have Bible groups. They have groups where they study the Bible together and discuss it and seek out counsel from the leaders of their church, right? Chantel, while she rages during Ramadan, which, to my understanding, based on what's been presented so far, that is a big no-no during Ramadan. You're supposed to actually speak in a softer tone, let things kind of roll off your back, and definitely not throw insults out at people. But the live stream she did last night was very circular. That's why I'm not covering the whole thing, because she just kept covering the same topics over and over again and throwing more and more insults out at specific live streamers, including French Fried Girl.
Apparently when I'm praying, I'm not praying in the right direction. So I just want to show you that that's a lie, 100% lie. Why don't you just get an app? I have an app. You see, this is my front page of my phone. Here, this is the Qibla app.
I think the complaint that people have been saying is that your app is not calibrated to your current location. And so you're not getting a correct reading on where you should be facing. I don't think this is tremendously horrible feedback, Chantel. It's just a minor correction. And it could have very well have been a throwaway. This is an app that I'm using, and if it's not operating properly, I'll check that out. That could have been the end of it, but you spent like an hour raging about this. That's amazing.
Qibla is the direction of prayer, okay? So that's the direction you must face Mecca, all right? Yes, you must face Mecca, the Kaaba. And this is the Quran Pro. It shows me my prayer times, all this and that, all right? So, lie number 1 dispelled. This will show you, this is the Kaaba, okay? The Holy Kaaba. This will show you the direction of prayer. So, as you can see in my video where I was praying here.
And it's not on a flat surface, but okay.
Okay. You see that? That's the direction of prayer. And also, last Ramadan, we were not even in this apartment. My husband's been Muslim his whole entire life, okay? No, he's not perfect, but doesn't matter. He knows the direction of prayer, I'm pretty sure, okay? Compared to people who are criticizing it, saying we don't know, who are not even Muslim, have not prayed a day in their life, an Islamic prayer, have not prayed.
Did you think about maybe double checking your information before going live with your rage on this? I think, that's one of the things is that when I'm angry about something, I want to double check my information and make sure that I'm correct about it before I say anything about it. I want to have sources and figure out, what I'm talking about, right?
Salah a day in their life, know nothing, are Islamophobic, and just plain ignorant and dumb. So yeah, there's.
Okay, so anybody who has any critical feedback for you is just ignorant and dumb, because those are the only 2 words to describe people that challenge your information, right? So, okay, Chantal, but you didn't want to double check and make sure that you were doing it correctly before going live with this rage.
An entire community of bored people who have no life and no content. So they make content out of bagging on a Muslim for how they practice their religion, when they're the biggest cruds on this planet.
Come on now, this community's been around long before you decided to cosplay as a Muslim. They've been following your antics and your entertainment for many years. And the fact is that you're an entertainer on YouTube. You are very excited about your 100K button that you expect or plaque that you expect that you're going to be getting, for which you did not properly earn. And we all know it based on the numbers of how you were fluctuating back and forth to get to that number, and it didn't match any of your organic growth. The reality is that you're an entertainer on YouTube with a large following, whether they be real or not, and therefore you are a subject of scrutiny.
And are surely, like, how are you going to judge somebody for how they practice their religion when you're the most vile people on the internet and you shouldn't even have a platform?
Well,
I don't know. It's so disrespectful and so disgusting. But this is like an entire community of like Islamophobic people making a mockery entirely.
the Muslims are coming out against you too, so what are you talking about? They're the ones actually leading the charge on this, because the rest of us don't know. So what are you whining about? It's the Muslims that are coming after you.
Of the religion, like especially during Ramadan, like are you serious? Yo soy María Angélica Gómez Cortés.
Yeah,
Like get a life.
I skipped the mukbang. Okay, so let's catch up real quickly on what happened in the mukbang, because I did skip it, but I do know some things that happened during it. I wasn't watching it, but I was listening, because I can't handle watching her eat anymore. It did look like a slightly more modest meal. It was too large of a serving size of beef stew, and she had 2 sandwiches with it. Again, way too much food, Chantel. You're not even trying. You said you were going to start your diet on Saturday. Didn't you say that? You're going to start your diet on Saturday? And then you cooked that big dried chicken, served it up like you were going to be having 2 people at the table, said that you were not going to eat the chicken soup but had it placed in front of your setting. Okay, so you're not going to eat it, but it's not placed in front of Salah's setting? There was barely anything placed on that side of the table. Very interesting. But that was the episode in which we learned that she lost Howie. I think that was it. Because she won't get him a proper hamster cage. And, I don't know what you're thinking of, like, when you're thinking of a hamster cage. And I totally disagree with Breezen's suggestion to get an aquarium. They have actual hamster cages with little fun tubes and the towers and the wheels, and they have fun hamster cages. And I don't recall that they were all that expensive, because hamsters are like starter pets for your young children. So it's this difficult for you to manage a hamster when most people give hamsters to their like 5-year-olds to learn how to take care of them. But okay. Very strange. So anyway, Howie escaped his bullshit cage, ran for the window, apparently. Just like jumped off an entire dresser, I guess, a high location, and was missing for a couple of days. And finally, he was located, I guess, during or just before this particular live stream.
Hearing the Quran recited, I know it does that. It gives you chills. Like, I kind of like how you're making a big deal how you cut your chicken. Right? Like, somebody who sleeps with a child predator or a sex offender makes fun of how I cut.
Deflection. What does that have to do with anything? Chantel, you're basically trying to tell us to, no, look over there. Look over there. I don't care what's going on with this other React channel. If they have some problems going on, then they can deal with their problems. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't watch their channel, and I'm not going to get involved in whatever's going on over there. All right? But if somebody asks you a direct question about the chickens, Because it did look like multiple chickens. It's just being real. Um, answer it. Don't start talking about a React channel. I don't care what happened at this other React channel.
Like, okay, I'll recreate it, no problem. You know what? I know I'm thirsty, I can't drink. I didn't even have to cut the chicken. Like, whenever you simmer a chicken for long enough, I know, I can't with these people. I can't. It's really embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed or what? I swear, if somebody bought me a plane ticket today, I would go next week to Canada.
Seriously? You should go to Canada. So I'm glad that you're saying that. And maybe Pete's will buy you a ticket. But you don't know how to cook. Why can't you just buy a cookbook? Why can't you just look recipes up on Food Network online? Like, why are you trying to wing it all the time?
Just to sue the crappy, stale leggings off of them. I would, 100%. I don't know how people...
Do you feel like that's in the spirit of Ramadan? Do you feel like that's in the spirit of Ramadan, the way you're speaking right now?
People like go to work and school and focus, like fasting like this. I don't know. It's crazy. And these are adults. Or imagine just beating today. Imagine what kind of mother is raising a child fat shaming another woman on the internet.
Yet again, another deflection to another React channel. You're always bringing in kids, spouses, animals, and just randomly insulting people related to the React channels. Why? Why you gotta go there?
You can see rolls in your abaya. And what's your point? I'm fat. Thank you, Teardrop. They want to get you going. Well, yeah, fine. I'll speak out about their lies and their hypocrisy and their...
When was the last time you actually took a shower, Miss Thang? Because you've been wearing the same clothes for 3 days. What's going on there?
Islamophobia, then. It's sad that I guess I didn't have to do this, but yes, I did. Look, the point of Ramadan is not to be fancy and how many fancy abayas you can afford to wear. Maybe that person has more money than us. Like, what are you doing? Like, shaming someone's finances now? Like, maybe that person has a different lifestyle. Like, I'm not all about that. I don't care. I'm not going to waste all my money on trinkets.
Okay, so you're poor? Is that what you're saying? Are you poor? Are you poor and in need and you needed 3 tables worth of food from a food bank?
It's when I can give it to the poor, which is what the spirit of Ramadan is about. It's about zakat and donating and praying. It's not about how many fancy decorations you can put in your apartment. The spirit of Ramadan isn't talking about others. Exactly. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, and Courtney, about Mr. Cardigan, I don't care. Like, he's a liar. He's just a glorified hater, and he's going to relive some...
He literally was just analyzing your own videos. So I don't know what you think he's lying about. Look, I've watched the video twice now, and he doesn't add any sort of speculation into what's going on. He's just talking about your videos and what you said in those videos.
Thing about the past, go for it. Another one who has no content unless he's beating on the same fat women on the internet, beating down the same women, or trying to like make documentaries on us. Like, please, people need to get off their high horse.
Oh, okay, because there is an entire industry that is directed towards entertainment around weight loss, right? The Biggest Loser hasn't been around forever, and it didn't survive either because it wasn't doing it in a healthy way, right? The 1,000-Pound Sisters, there's a ton of YouTube channels. So rightly so, when you put entertainment forward like that, there's going to be reactions to it of, how do you feel about this? Do you agree with it? Is this right? Is this wrong? You know?
horses and stop being self-righteous. Like, it's just insane. Whatever, backwards babe. I'm not saying anything mean about anybody, so I'm gonna block you. Goodbye. Another virtue signaler.
Another virtue signaler. Okay, you're quite literally the one who's trying to teach us about religion that you clearly know nothing about, and you're very confused and still need guidance from your religious leaders, but you're unwilling to seek even that out. In regards to virtue signaling, I mean, people asking you questions about your faith and the way that you practice is not virtue signaling. Okay? That's not virtue signaling. You're the one who's out there putting yourself out there like that. You don't see me on my channel ranting on and on about how to practice as a Catholic. I don't need to flaunt my religion to people, okay? I don't need to tell you how to do it. I've done the sacraments, you know, I've gone to catechism. I've attended church. I have family members who work for the church. But I don't feel like that's a focal point of my life. But you, as a cosplayer, have made this so much of a focal point that you can't stop talking about it.
I'm allowed to defend myself in Islam and talk about certain things if I want to. Why do they react to people who are suffering from issues? That's disgusting. Because they're ableist and they think that they're funny. Like, they do it for money. Like,
oh, we're ableist. I'm the one sitting here with an actual serious pain condition in my left leg, and you're faking one. You have not been diagnosed with sciatica. You seem to walk fine in your videos, unless you want to like show off a limp. But all other times you seem to be walking fine for you, which means you're going to be leaning back really far to counterbalance your giant fupa. But some of the stuff that comes out of your mouth is absolutely delusional.
Imagine how, like, you don't know anything. You don't know ish. You don't know anything at all. Especially about the religion. You Google things to find out. Like, get a life. Like, why don't you act your age? Grow up.
Mash booster judge. Ready, set, please.
Like, what are you doing with your time, with your life? It's so sad. My mind is like blown. I can't. I don't know how YouTube platforms these people, but I continue every day to report them. Like, seriously, I'm like fed up. I want to shut her up for good.
Well, you know, ultimately that's going to come back to bite you too, because if you complain about too many people too many times for ridiculous reasons, YouTube is going to identify you as a false reporter.
And that's the thing, these people are obese themselves. Yeah, Teardrop, she needs to be put in her place for sure. She's like criminal. She's disgusting. Yeah, I don't have Dove. I'm not doing that. I'm not making an aquarium and everything. I'm never getting another hamster ever again. No offense. Like I said in my video, I don't have the means or the time or the energy. Like I have sciatica pain every day. I'm not making them a free.
Yes, hamsters are so difficult. They're so difficult. They stay in a cage most of the time. You take them out once in a while to pet them and kind of snuggle with them. You put them in the little ball so they can kind of run around the room, right? She doesn't have a ball. She'll never even go to a pet store and go that far as to get a ball so he can safely run around the room without getting lost again, right?
in terrarium, wall-sized terrarium. No offense, no. Like, people can call me a friggin' animal abuser because I don't get them a bigger cage. I don't give a crap anymore. People are just huge snowflakes. I can't stand it. Just don't even come in here. Like, that's disgusting. Why does YouTube platform these people? Like, I don't get it. If we're gonna judge somebody over stupid things that they did in the past, well then I guess everyone's a bad person. Everybody on the planet. By the way, my plaque is on the way. It's been shipped.
Well, that's great about your plaque, but I think that most of us have never done anything like what you've done. And we most certainly have not put it online. Oh my God, even.
Doing my best. I try to make him as happy as possible. You know, I give him a lot of treats. She's half Egyptian. Wasn't she Greek and Jewish? Like, what is she? She's a liar, that's for sure. I'm definitely...
Stop talking about her. Just drop the subject. You're trying to like get into this high school battle with FFG. Why? Why do you keep bringing her up? Why don't you just shut up about it?
I'm gonna work on shutting her up. Who are these people to say, listen, I want to tell you something, okay? You can also Google, if you drink alcohol, you're still a Muslim. If you smoke weed, you're still a Muslim. Yeah, I'm a Muslim. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke weed anymore. And even when I did, that's between me and God, and I repented for that. This is a Ramadan message for you. Get a life, but quit talking about my religion during Ramadan. You're hella disrespectful. So yeah. Okay, talking about religion, didn't Salah say he wanted to urinate on a Christian?
Yep.
Okay, listen, that was something private, not public. That was something, that's a
Nope, that's something you raged about on a live stream when you were in Canada visiting your family. And I think most of us wouldn't have even known that that happened, or might have questioned the validity of it had you not verified its validity through your live stream. You made it public.
It's not real, okay? Anything to do with fantasies, there's a reason that's called a fantasy. That's not real. You can't judge somebody based on a stupid fantasy, okay? So yeah, and what is that excuse? Does he have a channel making fun of a whole religion? Or talking about a religion and picking apart a religion?
Didn't you just try and sell your greeting messages to Christians and Catholics after the two of you have said some very blasphemous things against Christians and Catholics?
Or how a Muslim worships their religion? No, he doesn't. So get out of here. You don't know how to compare things. Like, no logic. And he's repented enough. He's dealt with it. Like, it's done, you know? So, hey, block me out of your life if I'm such a bad person. All right? I'm not getting him a bigger cage. Poor Howie, boo-hoo, small violin. And yes, I can still be a bee when I want to.
Oh, somebody needs to go in there and save Howie, because she obviously doesn't care at all. She couldn't even remember his name for a while there. She kept calling him Harry, Howie, whatever. I'm not sure. Then she said he's Howaher. Okay. You obviously do not care about that hamster. Maybe that's why he lives in a different location with Salah.
It's not that simple. I have the biggest cage from Pet Zone. I already told you that. I think I'm going to have Salah take me out for iftar tonight. I don't feel like cooking.
Oh, I'm sure that's a great idea after all the food that you bought last week and took from food banks away from needy families, that you should just let it rot and go out to dinner with your handsome man.
Again, I just don't get people who do that. They just sit there online and go after people when there's no problem. Like, stop it. Just like Kay Bella doing what she did just to get the attention of FFG, the approval.
Wait a second here. How was it so easy for Salah to slip into her DMs and start up that conversation while you were in Canada.
Oh, I'm such a pick me. You're such an idiot. No, he doesn't cook. It's not his job. It's mine. Give us lies, give us drama, hate, foodie beauty. I really want to try not to focus on like negativity and stuff for Ramadan, but like this is
Salah doesn't eat your food. He doesn't. You cook for you.
this is not just like normal haters. These are not normal haters. These are psychotic Islamophobic people who just like don't know anything about Islam and like make fun of my Muslim name.
No, it's actually mostly the Muslims that are driving the conversation on this prayer debacle, prayer gate.
Make fun of Salah. Where's my charger? Okay, Missy, that's nice, but you don't have to come and rag on me for anything. I take care of my pets, and I remember every single lie and thing you said about Salah and I will not forget it, ever. So, like, I don't know. There's not 4 wings, there's 2 legs and 2 breasts. Go look closer. Why are we talking about this? My hair's coming out, so I gotta go.
Wow. I'm so glad there was a summary because it was long, it was boring, and I watched a couple of live streams covering it, and it was just, it wasn't even a good rage fest because she was like trying to keep her voice down. Chantel, I don't think that's like the saving grace of, well, if I just do it quietly, therefore it doesn't count as a rage. It does. It does. That was pretty pathetic, girlfriend. Happy